Well, if I could speak Chinese, I'd probably know how to pronounce this. But anyway, look what I got in the mail yesterday. And from the good folks at Wiser, because Chicken Kabbalah, I'm son of Chicken Kabbalah, is published by Wiser. And Chicken Kabbalah is also in paperback and Kindle and audio book and even a CD collection of. So Chicken Kabbalah it's out there all around the place, but it's now also in Chinese, and along with it is an even thicker son of Chicken Kabbalah. So now it's not all that wild for you to think why would a Chinese market be interested in magic stuff? Well, they are, and a few years back I went to China a lot. Okay, I think in a 2-year period I went to China, I believe, 8 times. Okay, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Beijing. Now, from the Llewellyn side of things, the book Low Magic, which I'm going to read out of today in English anyway, Low Magic by the same Chinese publisher. So I've got 3 books in Chinese. Not only that, but the foundation material, especially the practical workshops that I did in China, provided the source material, my notes, my preparatory notes for those Chinese workshops, many of which were 3-day workshops. We all stayed at a 5-star hotel and did lectures and exercises all day and socialized during the night. It was wonderful. So China is a very important aspect in my great work, I guess you'd say. So I'm just absolutely pleased that I'm having some of my favorite books published in Chinese. That being said, they're up here in the Sacramento area here. There will be this weekend, tonight and on Sunday, there will be the celebration of the Gnostic Mass. Okay, the celebration on Sunday will be an OTO body, 418 Lodge, which was Phyllis Seckler's old lodge, but it's an oasis now. They're celebrating Mass on Sunday, and Constance and I, of course, go there. And there's one tonight with sort of a greater Thelemic group, not particularly associated to any. It's just general kind of Bay Area Thelemites are also doing a Mass at a wonderful venue, also here in Sacramento. And it's in honor of our recently departed senior brother, Bill Heydrich, William Heydrich. And it's sort of like a memorial Mass. And that's tonight, and Constance and I are going to attend that one too. And so this brings up the idea. I've announced today's talk as, am I really a bishop? Because I talk about being an archbishop and things like that, and And because I joke around a lot, people wonder if, well, is that just sort of a term of endearment like Baba, Baba Lon or Bishop DuQuette. So I thought I would address two things because I'd gotten out my low magic to compare the Chinese version. I had the book Low Magic out. The English Low Magic looks like this. Okay, that's from Llewellyn. And it also says it's all in your head. You just have no idea how big your head is. That's the subtitle. But on this subject of am I a bishop? Somebody wrote me a letter years ago, and I addressed that issue in this letter back that I'm going to share with you right now. The gentleman's name was Vincent. Hello, Vincent. Yes, I'm a bishop. Actually, an archbishop of Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica, the liturgical arm of Ordo Templi Orientis. I'm also what is known as a wandering bishop, having over the years been consecrated by individuals possessed of documented and, according to Orthodox criteria, valid apostolic credentials stemming from multiple traditions and lineages. And I say, see attached document outlining the lineage of a recent consecration at the hands of Monsignor Philip A. Garver. I hope you're watching, Philippe, who is known as Tau Lucian Vincent. How's that for a coincidence, I say. That being said, I think it's important for you to know that even though I have these credentials, I currently actively serve only as Archbishop in Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica, and that the term bishop does not carry the same meaning within the EGC as it does in Christian churches or the so-called wandering bishops tradition. Possession of a valid and documented apostolic succession does not make one a bishop of EGC. Neither is Christian apostolic succession necessary to the bishops of EGC. But it just so happens that the chain of individuals who in the past and currently have authority to consecrate bishops in the EGC also were and are coincidentally possessed of valid wandering bishop status in the Orthodox Christian and Gnostic Christian traditions. My fellow EGC Bishop Bill Heydrich wrote a marvelous little note on the wandering bishops in one of the chat lines, and here's what he wrote. And that's another reason I thought this was particularly interesting on today of his memorial. Here's what Bill wrote. Note that the EGC is a descendant of the Episcopi Vagantes from the Schism of Utrecht in 1739. And here's his dramatic, this is so cute. It was one of the last gasps of the Protestant Reformation. The diocese at Utrecht had one bishop. This would be a Roman Catholic thing. The diocese at Utrecht had one bishop, and a consecration was scheduled with traveling bishops to make more. in that tradition, it takes 3 laying on of hands of other bishops to make another bishop, in hopes that one of them has a valid consecration. So, okay, back to Bill's quote here. The diocese at Utrecht had 1 bishop, and a consecration was scheduled with traveling bishops to make more. The Pope got wind of the position on the primacy of the Pope at Utrecht. Okay, so the bishop at Utrecht, his position, his theory was that the Pope is not a super bishop at all. The Pope is just an administrative bishop, and that the Pope had no higher authority than any bishop with apostolic credentials. Okay, that was this guy's attitude. So the Pope in Rome got wind of the position on the primacy of the Pope at Utrecht, that the Pope was just another bishop, not the head of the church. And the Pope in Rome sent an urgent message to stop the consecrations. Too late. Having the requisite 3 bishops available of their persuasion, Utrecht formally severed ties with Rome and began consecrating bishops like the bunnies do. Okay, here's the thing. I'm digressing here. I'll get back to Bill in a second. I'm digressing. The whole idea of the power of the bishop is like there was a magic electricity that passed from Jesus to Peter. Okay, when Jesus said, Peter, you got my magic electricity here, and when I'm dead, you can pass my magic electricity on to anyone whose will it is to get it, and whose will it is of the person to give the magic juice to the person. It passes like that. And that's the bishops. Okay, that's the magic electricity that the bishops have, came directly from Peter. Peter touched a guy who 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 touched a guy. All of them willfully passing the magic electricity on. That's the bishop juice. Okay. It's magic juice. They say it's not magic, but they talk about it like that's all it could be, is magic. And the idea is, once you've got it, you can't take it away. If one bishop says, oh, your magic electricity is no good. Now, wait a second. It's all coming from Peter, from Jesus. To say one of them is not good, is invalid, is to suggest that none of them are valid. So it's between a rock and a hard spot. It's a catch-22. Okay, back here. Too late. The requisite 3 bishops available of their persuasion, Utrecht formally severed ties with Rome and began consecrating bishops like the bunnies do. In Roman Catholic tradition, it takes 3 bishops to make a new bishop, on the theory that at least one of them will have a valid consecration himself. Most of the occult-related neo-Gnostics claiming bishop consecration come from this incident. Okay, so since bishops produced normally do not have established dioceses or sees, They're called wandering bishops, the meaning of the Latin phrase given above. It is tradition to get consecrated by one bishop and then seek co-consecration from other lines descending from Utrecht. Now, when three bishops of the OTO or occult traditions get together for different meetings and stuff like that, we will sometimes co-consecrate each other, get three of us to if there's four of us, we co-consecrate each other. And when we're in foreign capitals or things like that, like I remember once that three OTO bishops, EGC bishops, we were all at Westminster Abbey in London, and we all co-consecrated ourselves at Westminster Abbey. And I believe once we did it at the Temple Church, also the Knights Templar Church in London. But I digress. I'm sorry. Although most individual bishops of this type are solitary, some rather large churches and sects do come from this, Dutch Old Catholic being the largest. I suppose after that, OTO EGC would be the next largest. Can you believe that? But I don't know, Bill says. Of course, in OTO, the EGC no longer is Christian, while Dutch Old Catholic and most of the others are very much Christian. In the 1970s, it was estimated that close to 40,000 individuals have bishop consecration descending from Utrecht. But I don't know if that's true. And that's the end of Bill Heydrich's quote there. Now, I return my letter back to Vincent. I don't know if you wanted to learn all of that, but there it is. I may be wrong, but I think you're particularly looking for... what you're particularly looking for is not the EGC brand of non-Christian Gnosticism. Therefore, I refer you to a gentleman for whom I have great respect, Dr. Stephen A. Heller. I don't have his email address, but I think you'll be very interested in reviewing the following websites, which I'm sure will lead you to his door. And then I give a couple links there. Very best of luck, and please forgive me if it's a long time before I'm again able to write such a lengthy note back. Okay, there's that. And here's what I have to say in the very last kind of mini chapter of Low Magic. It's Appendix 11, as a matter of fact. Apostolic Succession. In chapters 6 and 13, I refer to my credentials as a bishop. I thought the reader would appreciate a little more information. Throughout the years, I've received at the hands of several individuals representing various denominational lines of succession consecration in no fewer than 30 apostolic lines of succession, including the Antiochian Jacobite succession, the Roman Old Catholic succession, Armenian Uniate, the Syro-Chaldean, Anglican, Celtic origin, American Greek Melkite, Orthodox Patriarchate of Constantinople, Russian Orthodox, non-juring bishops of Scotland, Syrian Malabar, Syrian Galatian, Coptic, Coptic Unate, Anglican non-Celtic, Irish, Welsh, Maravite, Old Greek Melkite, Byzantine, Old Armenian, Corporate Reunion, Chaldean Unate, Polish National Catholic, Albanian Liberal Catholic, African Orthodox, Catholic Church, Dutch Old Catholic, Utrecht, Galatian Catholic, Italian National Catholic, Vintrasian, Carmelite, Byzantine Orthodox Catholic, Brazilian National Catholic, Haitian Independent, and Old Catholic Orthodox. For example, the details of just one of those lines of succession, that of Roman Old Catholic, goes like this. St. Peter became Bishop of Rome in 38 AD. Peter consecrated Linus, 67 AD, who in turn consecrated Cletus, or Cletus, in 70 AD, who consecrated Clement in 88, who consecrated Ivar, okay, all the way. An unbroken list from St. Peter, and there's the year everybody consecrated. Okay, St. Peter touched a guy who 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 touched a guy. Oh, it goes on to the next page. Through the years, right up to through the Crusades, okay, all the way up to James Wedgwood in 1916, Irving Cooper in 1919, Charles Hampton, 1931. Alberto Lacava, November 2000, Yonkers, New York. Philip A. Garver, 16th February 2001, Verona, Italy, who consecrated Lon Milo DuQuette on the 10th of March 2001 in Akron, Ohio. So, yes, I'm a bishop. But I don't claim to function as a Roman Catholic bishop, but actually they can't argue that I'm not a bishop. Okay. I'll show them my ring, I didn't even have a ring. The OTO didn't give me this ring. Donna Gordon had it made for me. Anyway, that wandering bishop consecration credentials was enough to satisfy in the mind of the Mother Superior of the Catholic Girls' School that needed an exorcism. It was good enough for her to fulfill the requirement of it. It needs an exorcism. A Roman Catholic exorcism needs to be ordered or performed by a bishop. And that's another story in this book here. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to, that picture of me as a bishop, it's whoever on Facebook was funny enough and talented enough to stick my face on that. That's not my bishop costume. That's not my, I don't have one of those. Okay, that's a joke. Okay, so please don't, after I'm dead, don't make a big portrait of that, of that and put it up someplace. Anyway, that's it for today. I got a lot of stuff to do. Constance is going to bake 2 banana breads for this weekend's masses. And for those of you who knew Bill Heydrich or communicated to him over the years, or even know of his fame and are fans of his marvelous Kabbalistic writings, hold a good thought for Bill Heydrich today as we memorialize his memory. Okay. Until tomorrow for Saturday morning cartoons. Continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. If you have Chinese friends or whose first language is Chinese, tell them about Chicken Kabbalah, Son of Chicken Kabbalah, and Low Magic. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.